Hello, welcome to the latest edition of WCPO Lounge Acts. I'm your host, Gil Kaufman from Billboard Magazine. We are here today in the WCPO Digital Lounge with Erika Wennerstrom, lead singer of the Heartless Bastards, who will be in town next Friday, December 23rd, to play a show at the Woodward Ballroom. It's a special show. She'll be playing a lot of her new solo material. Welcome, Erika.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. Yeah, how are you?
Good. So we're going to talk today a little bit about your solo show that's coming up next week at the Woodward, and then you're going to play a couple songs for us. These are new songs you're going to play for us tonight?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. And tell us the name of them and kind of a little bit about these songs.
This first song I'm going to play, it's called Gravity. And the second one's called Extraordinary Love. And I've been honestly, I feel like this album is about self-love.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you tell us about self-love, and we'll be back in a little bit after these songs. Stay with us.
holds the sun. Oh, oh. Maybe it was curiosity on a search for love or identity. I didn't know just what I was looking for. Oh, I climbed a mountain and I went down into the jungle to fill in the colors of
You weren't kidding. Those are songs about self-love. If you're just joining us, we are live from the WCPO Digital Lounge with Erika Wennerstrom, lead singer and brain trust of the Heartless Bastards. She just treated us to 2 new solo tracks, which I suspect you haven't heard anywhere else. Talk about that song, "Extraordinary Love." That line. I'm looking for this extraordinary love. What's the whole chorus? I couldn't catch the second part, but.
Oops. Is that my
Is that
guitar?
you or me?
My guitar's feeding
Okay.
back. Pardon me. It's about, or I say, I want to feel extraordinary love, a love that always echoes through my mind.
Yeah, wow.
I want to feel extraordinary love, a love that only comes from within inside. So it's sort of, it's not sort of, it is just, it's about growth, self-love.
I mean, and you mentioned that they were about self-love before, but there's a real sense of like searching in those songs. Like you're really kind of trying to figure something out. I mean, did that come from somewhere in particular, or are these the kind of emotions that you kind of can only express when you're doing it on your own without a band?
Oh God, I got emotional. Oh God, I'm such an emotional.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this so early.
No, it's all right. It's just something I think lots of people. I mean, I've always struggled with. I just have to remember to be good to myself. So.
and you know, these songs, obviously you're going to be playing them solo at the show next Friday at the Woodward, but you're going to have some friends with you. You know, Jesse's going to be there. Jesse Ebaugh, who's in the band with you, he's going to play with his band, The Tender Things, and Molly Sullivan's going to be on the bill as well. Tell people, you know, you've played these songs solo a little bit. You mentioned you played them on a couple California dates, but what's this show going to be like if people have seen the Heartless Bastards? Is this going to be like a Heartless Bastards show? Is it going to be a whole different animal?
Well, I mean, it's its own animal to some extent, but I don't think it's that far of a stretch. You know, I think it's sort of. I would like to think it represents some growth as a songwriter, and what is that noise? God, that's not my phone.
No,
is
that's
it?
not.
Yeah, I feel it's sort of the next step. I mean, I think the band, everybody needed a break. Everybody's doing some different things right now, and this is likely the step I would have taken with the band as well. So these could have very much been Heartless Bastard songs. But I like to think that there's definitely been some growth with this album. So, yeah.
And so you said, you know, everybody's taking a break. Was there a particular incident or something that kind of spurred you to write these songs? Or was it just this point in your life where you are right now?
Well, you know, I think just everybody wanting a break, it was like I needed a break and I didn't even realize how much I needed one. It was like, you know, we all need change, and you get so like in these kind of habitual things. I mean, in a sense, in a band, there's so many different elements of each night at a show, but still, you kind of. I don't want to say. I certainly wasn't going through the motions, but I just felt I needed change. Yeah.
I mean, a band's a relationship.
Yeah.
And, you know, the way you described it just now sounded like a relationship to me. I mean, sometimes you're like, I need a little bit of space, you know, like I need to kind of do my own thing. When you
know, they actually wanted the break, so
okay,
and
so it's mutual. See, that's great.
But I didn't realize how much I needed it
Yeah.
until they said that, and it was just like kind of like a big weight lifted. Like, oh wow, okay. And then I struggle with songwriting a lot of times. I'm a very slow writer. But for some reason, just having that sort of this new change created this inspiration, and I've just been writing so much. So, yeah.
there's a there's kind of a naturalism to a lot of the lyrics. I noticed, you know, you kind of talk about nature a lot, and you kind of relate it to this love that you're looking for, that, you know, that's missing. I mean, when you write songs for yourself, is it a different process than when you're writing a Heartless Bastard song, or is it the same process?
I think it's a similar process. You know, it's a little bit of a balance, because I honestly, like, I have 200 unfinished songs. Like, every time I try to finish a song, a new melody enters my head, and it's like knocking me on the, you know, hitting me over the head. And it's been a balance of self-discipline to actually finish anything. But then I also need to follow those ideas sometimes when they hit me, because I realize sometimes I'm so try to self-discipline myself so much that I don't just allow myself to go with that flow. So I feel like right now I try to maintain a balance, because there are so many things I want to finish, and if I don't have self-discipline, I never will. But
and are you recording these songs? Who are you recording the songs with? Are you doing it with any of the members of the band, or are you doing it with other people?
A friend of mine in Austin, his name's Danny Reich, is producing it. And I just wanted to do it locally so I could take my time. And I'm having just like a whole different cast of people coming in on some songs. So I just did the first leg of songs recently. And Jesse actually played bass on that leg. And I had Patrick Callahan from My Morning Jacket played drums. And this guy, David Polkingham, who's been playing with Patty Griffin for years. He's amazing. And yeah, I'm just having fun. And, you know, I don't think Patrick will be able to do the next leg of songs, so I'm going to have somebody else. So it's kind of fun. It changes the energy up. And we had this song we recorded live, and it's a 10-minute long jammer. And I didn't even know if we'd be able to pull it off, because it was conceptual for me initially. But part of the whole essence of that song is just being in the moment and embracing, like, not knowing exactly what's going to happen. And we pulled it off on the third take. And it was the most thrilling, exciting thing I've ever experienced in a studio, because it's just a 10-minute long jammer, and nobody knows what's coming next, but somehow we all sunk in.
Wow, what's that song called?
It's called Good to Be Alone. I think, you know,
that's a theme here, you know.
Well, like on the last tour, at one point we were on a tour bus, and we shared it with another band. There were 13 of us living in the size of something smaller than a double wide for 6 weeks straight. So I think after that, I really could use some alone time. You know, that inspired that one. I went camping by myself and hiking at Big Bend in West Texas, and I wrote that one. So.
And do you have a sense of when this might come out, or when we might hear this music?
I think I'm going to do the second leg in February. But, you know, part of me isn't giving myself a timeline, because sometimes when I do that, I stress myself out. And I'm aiming to finish in February, I guess with mixing and everything, maybe March. But I don't really know, you know? Yeah.
You started out, you know, in this area, in the Dayton area, and I've heard you talk about, you know, Guided by Voices being really influential on you, and Brainiac and all these bands. There was a great scene there, and there's a real musical camaraderie there. Obviously, Austin has the same thing times 100. Have you found that musical community in Austin? Have you really kind of, you know, found your people there?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, the musical community there is huge. I mean, there's this health insurance thing through benefits called Health Alliance Austin Musicians. And I want to say that the figure is that, not that are insured through HAM, but there are 40,000 active musicians in Austin. I think that's actually...
That sounds, I mean, given the amount of bars there are there, that sounds right.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many home studios, recording studios everywhere. I mean, so honestly, sometimes when I tour so much, these days I don't even go out to see music that much. But But there is a lot of talented folks there and good people I've gotten to meet over the years. I just did a benefit for another part of HAM called SIMS. It's for mental health. It was a really great event. And when I do those kinds of things, it reminds me that there is like a really great musical community there. There really is in so many places. Cincinnati too.
Right.
Know?
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of great bands here, and there's a real camaraderie here, and that's why I was curious about it. So at the show, at the Woodward next Friday, the 23rd, you can get tickets at thewoodward.com or cincytickets.com. $15 in advance. 17 days show. Tell me about who else is going to be on the bill there. Tell me about Molly and some of the other people who are going to be playing that night.
Molly Sullivan, who Doug. I'm trying to think of his last name. He's Dave Colvin and Heartless Bastards' cousin, and so it's a family affair. And then Jesse from Heartless Bastards, Jesse Ebaugh, he's playing bass with me on my new project for this show, and but he's also got a solo album he's been recording, and Dave played drums on that. So Dave will also be playing drums that night with Jesse. So it's great. 3 out of 4 of us are going to be here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And when you play a show, and this is kind of coming home for you playing at the Woodward, but like when you play a show, is it ever weird because you look out and like a cousin's out there or, somebody you knew from high school? Is that a distraction to you, or does it kind of make you feel, nice when you see those familiar faces out there?
I mean, it's always really nice to see people I recognize, but I have to say sometimes I like see them for a second, but I'll distract myself if I so sometimes I feel a little like if I'm playing and I realize that my mom is right in front of me.
That's what I was wondering about. Like when you look out and you see mom, you're like, oh no, you're like a kid again, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, she's just smiling from ear to ear. But I tend to, like, if I make eye contact, actually, I think if I make eye contact with anybody, sometimes when I'm playing, I find it distracting. So I'd sort of go a little bit inward when I perform. Yeah.
And one of the things I was going to ask you about, and I think we talked about it when we talked a couple months ago, is, music is always evolving. You record a song, but then when you play it live, there's an opportunity to remake it, unless you're Kanye West and you keep remaking your album for real, but once it's recorded, that's it. When you play live, I'd love to hear that 10-minute song live, because who knows where it would go. I mean, do you look forward to being able to reinterpret songs or kind of play them differently live than when they are on the record?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that essence of that 10-minute song in particular is just being in the moment. So it's never going to be the same thing twice. Yeah. So I think it keeps everybody on their toes musically, and it keeps it exciting. And the other thing, because I said I don't make eye contact when I'm playing, but I do with the band. I feel like it tends to be more of a bubble, though, of us kind of, interacting. And then, yeah. I mean, we all do. I just, yeah. Never. I'm rambling. What am I talking about?
It's, obviously it's the holiday season.
Yeah.
You did mention that you have a special Christmas song that you might be recording or writing next week. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this Saturday I'm rehearsing, or I'm going to write a song with Kelly Deal, which I'm excited about.
Of the Breeders and Amps fame,
yeah,
obviously.
I was a huge
and Pixies,
huge fan of both the Deals, and I'm excited. Yeah, we're just she's playing with me at the Dayton show on the 22nd, which I think is a Thursday. I don't even know what day.
So this will be is it a Christmas song, or is it just you guys are just going to write a song together?
We're going to write a Christmas tune.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's called yet, or have you talked about it?
Well, we texted back some ideas back and forth, but we're going to work on it in person. So, yeah.
Listening to the songs you're playing now, those are obviously very personal songs, but I'm curious, do you get influenced by world events? Do you get influenced by the world outside of the world that's, your personal world, or are these songs really focused on kind of your internal life, these new songs?
I mean, it's always a bit of both. I mean, years ago, the song I wrote, "The Mountain," is actually about greed with industry.
That was the one I was kind of. That's one of the examples of one of the songs I was thinking about.
Yeah, I have a line in it. Tasteless lead is sitting on our tongues, and now we have to worry more about the ones we love. And it was like, I remember reading some article about children's toys being manufactured in China, and there's zero regulation and having lead paint in kids' toys. And I just think sometimes, I don't know, it's a messed up system, I guess when you have stockholders, you're answering to trying to increase people's retirement money, but then it's also you're constantly trying to eliminate jobs in some sense, whether it's technology or I don't know. It's a complicated world,
but we won't necessarily hear protest songs on this solo record. It's really it's kind of about.
I like to be a little. So I feel like. I'm actually working on something right now which might make it on the album, but it's a little bit more subtle as far as straight up protest. But I don't speak up much on my thoughts, and I said something after the election. I said, have we come to the opposite of peace, love, and understanding? Where do we go from here? Which isn't even a strong political statement towards a political view. And I had people that said, shut up and sing, and just stuff like that. And I don't even really speak up much. I've always been a bit self-conscious of it. I don't talk on stage much. And for people to try to silence me for a comment like that, it's a very emotional election for everybody all around. It was just a very dark. It's been really dark.
Well, and I asked because I saw that, and I saw that there was some backlash to that, so I was curious, because I know that I've seen you a bunch of times. I know you're not like a monologuer, you're not somebody who talks a lot on stage, and so that was interesting to see you kind of speak out. But you know what? I'm going to let us get back to the music.
Okay.
We'll get off politics. We'll get back to the music, and you're going to play Like a Bird. These are new songs. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about the show next Friday at the Woodward.
The song's called Like a Bird.
So help it a new sense of elation for a time that's past and gone. All self-protection built all around me. I'm gonna open up and let the good things count. I was like a bird without a song. It was so hard to move on. Open up and let the good things count.
Hi. If you're just joining us on Facebook Live, we are here with Erika Wennerstrom of the Heartless Bastards, who will be playing at the Woodward Theater next Friday. She's playing those songs that you're hearing probably for the first time today, and that one, Like a Bird, is extraordinary.
Oh, thank you.
I hate to keep harping on this idea, but that line about building this wall around your heart and then kind of opening up and letting people in. There's been a lot of talk of walls lately, but that one in particular, that emotion and that feeling just really struck me as like, that's a very naked moment that you're talking about. I'm not trying to make you cry again, but that it just really struck me as a beautiful image of figuring something out about where you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
I'm so emotional. Yeah.
No, I cry at commercials. I'm the same way. So
I think when I start to talk about songs and then I think about where they came from, I do that.
Well, we're gonna let the songs speak for themselves. And if you want to hear those songs, Erika's going to be at the Woodward, like I said, next Friday. She is going to be playing with Jesse from the Heartless Bastards. E-Ball will be playing with you, and Molly Sullivan, and Jesse's going to be playing with his band, The Tender Things. Tickets are $15 in advance, $17 day of show. You can get them at thewoodward.com and at cincytickets.com.
I'm excited about the show.
Well, yeah. So next Friday at the Woodward, definitely check it out. Thank you, Erika, for joining us today. That was beautiful.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right.